So this is my new setup for my videos. Hopefully it looks better, but I don't have that much time to put into it because I have a lot of kids and work full time, so there's just never a lot of free time. But now I got an actual working phone because I moved to the country after I left Dearborn. I moved a couple times, but I ended up in the country. And luckily we had a Jewish landlord that was willing to relocate me when things became unsafe in Dearborn. As you can tell by Jake Lang getting stoned by Muslims, that's not a really safe place to be. I mean, it is if you're not agitating them at all. But if you agitate them a little bit, things can get out of hand really fast. For me, it got out of hand because we were putting Bibles on doors or handing them to Muslims. And we did this since 2015. But around 2020, when COVID hit and there was like mass pandemonium going on, apparently giving out Bibles at that point became a huge problem. And then they tried to shut me down, make me quit giving out Bibles. And then some of them were threatening me. So I was like, okay, I don't even feel like I can go to sleep at night because the Muslims are now threatening me. So I decided to just, leave with my kids. And we had a fairly nice Jewish landlord that just moved me to another town. And we started over because it just wasn't worth it to have to be afraid when you go to sleep. It's just not worth it. And that's kind of the thing that a lot of people are, worried about, that it's not that we hate Muslims. We love them. I wouldn't have gone down there and wasted like 5 years of my life trying to reach them with the gospel if I hated them. If I hate somebody, I'm just going to let them go to hell. I'm not going to sit there and try to, help them to come to Jesus and go to heaven. I'm just going to let them go to hell. If I hate them, I'm not going to even bother warning them. But we were there to warn them so that they could hear about Jesus and that he could save them so they could go to heaven. That's why we went there. That was the whole point. So, but Jake Lang, he takes it to a level that I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't sit there and scream like, ICE, come get him, like right there in front of them and stuff like that he does, because that instigates the violence. And then you don't really get anywhere. Then they're just digging in their heels more. He doesn't have the power of persuasion because it doesn't really persuade them. It just makes them dig in their heels more. And then they're like more convinced they need to follow Islam. I found the best way to reach them is one by one, going out, talking to them individually. My throat hurts a little bit right now. I have another sinus infection. From my TBI, I get frequent sinus infections. They tried to do surgery. It didn't fix it. So it might be another surgery. So that's great. But I have antibiotics like almost twice a month that I've been on for years now. So this isn't great, but they put me on another antibiotic because, I have another sinus infection. So if I can't talk very well, that's why. But, yeah, with Jake Lang, I think he just instigates them to a point where they're going to attack him. And it does bring out the fact that they will attack you, but it also does not convert them. So I wouldn't recommend, doing that. I don't know. Maybe it's good that he does it. Maybe it's bad. I don't know. But as far as me doing that, I wouldn't do that. I would go talk to him individually, make friends, and try to win them over. The times when I've seen Muslims convert, they were alone. We talked to them several times. They became friends and got converted. And other times, just a few other times, standing on their doorstep, they accepted Jesus. But usually you're going to have a relationship with the Muslim and they have to trust you more than they trust Islam and, you know, their family and friends, and then walk away from that. Because that's a big decision for them. They have to basically lose their whole social group in order to become a Christian. And that's a tough decision for them. That's not an easy decision. They basically lose their family. And it's hard for them to go back to their family and have a relationship after they become a Christian, because their family becomes hostile. So it's not as easy as some people would make it out to be for them to just become a Christian. No, it's not that easy. And then Dearborn, when I was there, I went into the school before. They're teaching them Arabic at the school. There's symbols of Islam at the school, at the public school. And I'm like, how is this even like possible? Because if we put a cross on a public school, we would be in so much trouble. And that's the part that makes me mad, that irks me and a lot of other Christians, is that there's a double standard. Like, Muslims' religion is so respected that they can put the Shahada in a doctor's office. They can put Shahada at the school. They can put the Shahada all over the city and do the call to prayer and everything else. But the Christians, if we try this stuff, we get, you know, they just come down on us. You can't do that at a public school. You can't do that at a doctor's office and stuff like that. So it's like there's this double standard where, you know, Islam is treated better than Christianity. And when you live there, you really feel the double standard. Big time. Everywhere you go. And it's also like you can feel the oppression of women in Dearborn. Because on every street corner almost, there's a strip club. So they just degrade women to the lowest denominator there. I literally watched a Muslim man throw his wife off of the front porch and start beating her in the street. And it was like, you must be kidding me. Like, this can't be happening. Wow. And then we walked over and handed him a Bible and he acted like everything was cool. It was like, wow. Another one of those times where I should have probably called police. But I don't even know if the police there will do anything, because a lot of them are Muslim or very Muslim friendly, or they're not even allowed to be a police officer there. That's how pervasive this is. And I'd love to see how many of those Muslims get charges for beating up Jake Lang. Like, I don't think too many of them are even going to pick up charges. I just don't see it happening. When we were there, they had like a bunch of little girls that they found that a doctor that was a Muslim doctor had performed FGM on them, and they just let them go. Like, they didn't even do anything to them. And I can't imagine if Christians had done something like that. Oh my goodness, we would never hear the end of it. You know, it's just a double standard. And I'm starting to feel like maybe we all died in the COVID pandemic and now we're just in hell, because if you look at what's happening in Spain, it's like, what is really going on here? But with the TBI, you can feel really spacey, so sometimes I feel like I'm already dead. Like, it's funny. But in Dearborn, the Muslims constantly hit on you. Like, constantly. Especially if you have blonde hair, blue eyes. They're constantly harassing you. I remember trying to go to a Tim Hortons, and I got stopped 6 times by Muslims just trying to walk into the Tim Hortons. And I was more fit then. Like, 2 years ago, I lost a baby that was like really traumatic, because the baby died and then I bled out and had to get surgery. And I don't think I can have any more kids now, because that was really, 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 really bad. And I almost didn't make it from that one. So I gained weight from that and the TBI. So just not feeling like myself the last 2 years and able to get out and do much. So I've gained weight, but back then I was like in shape. I'm an athlete. I was in the military, like always in shape. And I couldn't even walk into a Tim Hortons without getting harassed like 6 times by a Muslim. It's not like that in other places. And they try to like pretend like this isn't an issue. But when you live there, or move there and live there for 5 years, a lot of them are like harassing you when you go into the store, you go to the gas station. It feels like you can't freely just walk around like you can in other places. So that's what I'd say about Dearborn. I feel like you're oppressed already. And a lot of the women there are experiencing domestic violence. A lot of them are going through a lot of bad things. I've seen Muslim women sitting on the side of the road with their kids, and we stopped and gave them like money and food, but I wasn't as aware of like the resources that we have today. Today, I would say call a domestic violence helpline and see what they can do, because they can give you a free divorce. Now they have free lawyers. You can get a free divorce. They can give you an apartment to stay in for free and food stamps and stuff like that. But we've seen some really horrific situations where Muslim men, I don't know what the reason was, but kicked women out, and they're standing on the street corner with the kids. No man in sight. So, and their rules about divorce and stuff are much different than what Americans would think of as divorce. One of them told me if he says a word to his wife like 3 times, and I don't remember what it was, but he told me it, then I'm divorced. Because he said, why don't you marry me or something like that? And I'm like, you're already married, like, leave me alone. And he's like, no, I can divorce her. I just have to say this word like 3 times and we're divorced. So they have a totally different concept of marriage and divorce than we do, where it's a legal, you know, you have a legally binding contract and it's not over till that contract is over. They can literally just say a word to their wife like a couple times and throw them out, and then it's over. So, and then the woman feels like she has to fend for herself and the kids, but doesn't have any clue how to do that in America because they don't know English that well, some of them. And I do know people that are doing like English classes in Dearborn, and that's probably the best thing you can do for the women, because if they don't know English, they really are 100% reliant on the man that brought them into America. And I've seen it happen with Muslim women where they want out. They want a divorce. They want out of that situation. It's really abusive, but they don't know enough English to get out of it. So they're trapped. And I feel bad for them in that way. I'm like glad that some of them are here because they're going to be able to escape at some point. But at the other, side of it, people don't want to lose our culture to Islam. And people are freaking out now because there's a Muslim running for senator of Michigan who should be our senator tomorrow, basically, because they said he had 97% chance. So we'll be shocked if he's not our senator like tomorrow. So that's interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, and then Nate Friedman just did a documentary on Islam in Dearborn, and it's like a ghost town. Like, none of them will even talk to you. Just a few of the men. The women aren't allowed to talk to you, and them talking to you could put them in a highly dangerous situation where they could get abused at home literally that night, thrown out the door, and beaten by their husband. So when we went through, we were giving Bibles like secretly to women, and they were hiding them, and that's the only way that we could really do that, because it is such a difficult culture to evangelize. We made some converts, but it was like rough, and it was lonely for me and my kids. Like, they go to the playground and barely anybody's speaking English, so they couldn't make any friends. And then the way that the Muslims kept like increasing their persecution towards me, it was like, okay, time to go. Time to go. So we moved to an area where it's more, we can have more of a social group and talk to people and have friends. But yeah, it's rough for an American in that situation. It feels like you literally went into a foreign country there. So I have mixed feelings about it. In some ways, I'm glad that we can evangelize them. I'm glad that these women can get divorced and actually get out of that nightmare. But on the other side, it's like, how big is this going to get? Like, how far is this going to spread until nobody speaks English at the park that you go to and you can't have any friends, you know? Then it's really rough thinking about that. And I have friends and family that have varying views on this. So, whatever. But that's what I would have to say about Jake Lang getting attacked. He kind of brings it on himself by, you know, bringing out the devil in them. But at the same time, they should not be able to hit people with rocks or punch people without facing criminal charges, because we are in America. And that's what I've had to tell them before. We're in America. We can give you Bibles because you're in America. This is not a foreign country. And they will literally tell you, we own this land. Like, we own Dearborn. We own Michigan. We're going to be owning the whole United States, because they have, some of them are narcissists. I wouldn't say all of them, though. Some of them are empaths, and they're, you know, just kind of caught up in this culture that's really a bad culture. But they're really sweet people, so there's a mix. But some of them are very flagrant in your face, like, we're going to take this place over. We already own this town. And that's where some of them need to face criminal, like, charges for what they've done, hitting them with rocks.